Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this webinar about the Quiet Helper app developed by one of our works with Enfocus switch partners, Bluewest. We are here together with Thomas Descamps, also from Bluewest, who's going to demonstrate this brand new app to you. We're also joined together with some other people from Bluewest as well, Samuel, Sebastien, and Vigo and Florian. And we're also very delighted to have Andy from Quite in this presentation as well. So if you have questions about the Quite Imposing plugin in Acrobat or the Quite Imposing server as well, please do not hesitate to ask this question. Now, enough from me. You already saw me too much and lately. I will give the stage to Thomas, who will show you this beautiful app that he and his team has developed. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Yes, thanks, David. So, hi, everyone. So today we will talk about Quite Hot Imposing, and why we developed an app, which is Quite Helper, to help integrate Quite Hot Imposing within Switch. So, first of all, just a quick reminder of what is Quite. It will be quick, I'll promise. So, Quite basically is a software to create some imposition. I'll just create a quick imposition on a visit card, business card. So I just launch Quite.
You're not sharing your screen
Oh,
yet.
not sharing. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So it's done. So Quite is a plugin for Acrobat where you have a panel where you can create some action just to create quick imposition. So I'll go on the different panel, just create a quick one. Let's go up to maximum imposition, and oh, it's in an up. Up. I will create a step and repeat. It will be better. Up. Next, choose another sheet size. 0, finish. And it will create an imposition. Okay. So it's really simple to create imposition with this. You can also create automation. And with automation, create the same thing with automation sequence. For example, a step and repeat on another format and play it. It's the same without every option prompted. Within Switch, it will be roughly the same. You'll have a flow with a Quite Hot Imposing element where you set a control file. I've put a pit stop server. I'll let you know why just after. Let's hold this one. And I will push a visit card. Okay. So in order to push a visit card inside, you'll need to select a template. So I have a folder with a list of templates, and I will create a step and repeat, this time with horizontal space and vertical space up to 5 millimeters. Okay. I will submit my file. And just here, I have a pit stop server with some basic action list that will make some bleed and add some things on the PDF that will help us to see within Quite the boxes. Because once it's imposed, you will not have box anymore. Okay, so it's just a double page with this number, which gives us the pages. Okay, so then we'll go in Quite and release, and we'll have in 1 second my file here. Okay, so it's as simple as that. The boxes that I've added is a script that we can lend you, which puts this one on a layer, and then you can click and click this layer, and it's non-printable layer. So you can put this on the press, it won't print, but take it with caution. Depending on your raster image processor, you should remove it before print. Okay, so the problem is we use here fixed template. if I want to push something else and change the value, I need to create as many templates as I have variation of my imposition. So if I want 10 millimeter gutters, I will need to create a new template. If I want to have a new sheet of paper with slightly different dimension, I will need to have a new template. And it's a huge problem since you'll have a huge amount of templates during the course of you working with Switch. So for this, and we have done this for years, you could use some tool like CreateLog or other app within Switch. CreateLog is a Bluewest one, but there is other that will create this template dynamically. What is a template within Switch and within quite odd folder? So I will get back to Acrobat. And when you use a template, okay, let's get back to my command Acrobat. Just respond. Okay. You could use a basic function and let's say booklet. You can edit it. You'll have all the panel. You can create few menu and a few action on the side and set up everything. Once it's set, you can export them as an XML. I will export it on my desktop. And you'll have an XML. And you can use CreateLog app to fill everything in it. I will just indent it. Okay. So let's say, for example, the margins of my press will be here. I can have the page orientation, the paginate, sheet size, and so on. But the problem is it's all in points. So you'll have to make the conversion between millimeters and point, or inch and millimeters and endpoint. And could be difficult to find everything in it. So for example, the same script here, I need to go here, define a multi-line text with variables, and create everything in it. And this works really great, but it can be tough to work with. It can be tedious. It's prone to some error because if I click here, I put a metadata and I screw something like this, I remove a bracket and it's over. And it will be a nightmare to find why and where you have met some things. So I'll just demonstrate it, but it's a thing of the past with our new app. So let's make an example. With this, I've set up everything in this flow. And now I have a second dynamic template. Put my file again. And here, I could set up everything. I want an up or step and repeat. For this example, it will be a step and repeat. I could change my sheet width. So for example, margin of the press, I will say 10 and 10. And column, I will put it to 0, which is basically saying to create as most as you can. So I'll push my file. So it will go in the step and repeat process, and then in the success outgoing connection. We'll have a log, which is really basic, but it's still there. So it's really quick. Have a log, just success with the base default app, and my file with my new format. And if I want to change something, I need to repush it. I will put another one. So this one is not exactly the same file. It's a set of cards. So I will try just a demonstration, but let's say we work with a sheet by sheet cutter with rolling cutter. I'll need to push it with as many columns as possible and 3 rows only, for example, and just push it. Just waiting a few seconds for it stop to process the file, and done. And here I have just less, yep. So I will have 3 bands, 3 rows, and each time with a flip. And we can put it in a sheet by sheet cutter, and it will output me a deck of cards. Okay. But all this needs to create some complicated. This one, the NAP was really simple. But sorry, the step out was really simple, but the NAP is a bit long because you have multiple action. It's dict 0, later dict 1, later dict 2. It's the number of action within the quite imposing XML. So it's pretty long, prone to error. And you need to convert everything. I don't know if you see it here, but I have a switch calculation just to convert my millimeters in points. Okay. So to help us do this, we created a Quite Helper. Quite Helper is basically the same flow. Okay. So I'll just get rid of create log part, and I'll have 2 Quite, which is a new app. And on the left side, you can see how it will work. I will just copy paste one action. And what this app does is basically create the XML template on the fly and then call Quite to create the same imposition. So it will be Quite out imposing behind it. If it works with Quite out imposing, it will work with this one. It's exactly the same. But the process to create something in it is really, really simple. You'll have action. So command 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you could select here the action you want to execute. So let's say we want a step and repeat. Okay. I will choose my crop max style, the size and the distance, the margin mode, frame, imposition width, height, and everything you set up in Quite imposing. And you have the units. So you can work with millimeters, inch, or points directly without to have to worry about how it will be used within Quite. It will help you also to put some horizontal spacing because between within Quite, you could create some. Let's say my first gutter is 5 millimeters, my second gutter is 6 millimeters, 5, 5, 6, 5, 10, why not? And making this be translated in millimeters or inch or points with the old way was a nightmare. With this, you just have to just set up your value and it will be good. Okay. So right here, I have the same action list here. I will put my same card. I'll create exactly the same thing and I will push it to production. Just need to launch my flow. Okay, so I will create an app. I think I should put this one. And this time we will create, okay, why not? And vertical spacing, we will put 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10. Horizontal spacing, no, it's this one. Okay, no, we'll put it both just to see. Okay, row 3, column, as many as you want. Okay, push it. It will go here and here. One difference that you can notice is now we have a success warning and error connection. In the quite hot imposing base, you still have the warning, but the warning does not do much. Here, I will come back to the file later. You have a warning. Let's say you want to have 5 up here. You want to have up 5 columns and 10 rows. If the output is not 5 and 10, it will go to warning. So if you want to set more than it's capable to do, you'll have a warning. And the error is here if you say, let's say -10 and it won't work at all, so you'll have it in error. So here's my file. And remember, it will be 3 lane because it's what I asked for. Okay. And as you can see, I have some larger here. It will be 10 millimeters, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, and so on. Okay. So that's the base of quite hot imposing. How we use it, because before it was available on the App Store, we used it with 2 customers on beta for about 1 year and a half without any issue. We use it alongside other app. For example, we use it with CSV pickup. CSV pickup, why? It could be also a database or some value, because you won't want your user to set up every value each time they launch an imposition. So I've created an example with a basic CSV file. Just launch it. Okay. So with a press list, with a cutting mode, guillotine or Duplo, it's a sheet by sheet cutting, laminating, and everything that goes alongside. So impo width, impo height, margin. If I use a laminating, I'll have a higher margin, for example. If I use Duplo, I will have a limitation of 3 rows just to work with the number of lane and the number of cutting, the roller cutting. And then when I launch my flow, the only thing that the user will have to do is to send his card again, select the type, step and repeat, and up. So this one is the up one, and choose, okay, I want to work with HP Indigo. There is a lamination, so laminating, yes. Guillotine, no, I will work with Duplo, this one. Okay, and let's go. It will pick up the right line on my CSV file, use it as variables, and then I will fill my quite hot folder with this variable. So it's a CSV file. Once again, you can grab this information from your ERP system, from a database module, from an Excel file. You could use row to variables or whatever you want to fill this. But as an example, we use this with a lot of customers at Bluewest. So right there, I will have my file in a few seconds. Okay, here. And it's done. If I want to change a thing, I just need to select the right press. Let's say I want to modify this press info. I will just add a press, Heidelberg. I will just create the Duplo and then I'm taking this one. Okay. No, guillotine. It will be more logical. 1700. Let's put some dummy value. 10. Why not? 0, 0. Okay. Here. I'll need to change my submit points just to hide the Heidelberg value. Press, line text, up, Heidelberg. We launch my flow, refresh, and then send it again. Okay, so it will be this one, for example, now. It will be a step and repeat on the Heidelberg, laminating, no, and guillotine. And this time it will have the right format. And just what you need to do is update your CSV database, the API, and so on. Okay, so it worked. And it's done. So it's clearly a really good system when you have pre-filled or pre-filled products or products that are always the same. Let's say for a web to print system, or where you always have this type of box, this type of card, this type of, and so on. And we could have some really, I just need to show you briefly a customer one with a lot of value. Give me a second. Just need to grab it. Okay. So for example, for this customer, we'll have all this created within a database with a type of product, a binding type, subtype, width, height, elements. It's a web to print one. And from this, we could grab every information needed for quite imposing, so with quite helper, and create everything in it. So this customer has also a specific module, being able to disable a press on the fly if there is a maintenance or a problem with the press, and it will select automatically the highest priority number within the possibility for this product. So it's really interesting, and we've done it with CSV, but once again, it could be done with database or other thing. One of the common misconception we have also with quite hot imposing and quite helper is that it's intended for digital market, digital printing. But no, it could totally work with offset printing. It's not only for digital printing. So I've made quick flow to create some booklets or some perfect bond saddle stitch product. Okay, so here we'll just put a file. Say if we want saddle stitch of perfect bond, I will come back to this app later. Crypt patch for binding, just to fill the thickness of the paper. Create stitched one, and then a step and repeat. So we create 4 pages booklet, and then we step and repeat depending on the size of the sheets that we have at disposal. So for that, it will be, once again, the 1020 and 720. And we have the perfect bond. The problem we have with Quite is how to split your file with signatures. Because if you have a 60 page, for example, it will be 316, 18, 14. So you'll have to split. And how to split it and where to put the small signatures. So for this, and Quite also, it was an app designed for Quite. We have designed an app which is called Signature Splitter, where you could put your binding type, perfect bond or saddle stitch, your signature mode, and the list of signature which are available. So for example, select my name from library. And you could set up the list of available signature with your product. So for this case, I'll just allow 4, 8, and 16. But it could be here that we handle that. After that, you'll have splitted file, and you could create easy 8, 16, or 4-page booklets. So everything is set up here, and it's really basic setup if you are used to Quite. So for example, it's a list. It's first of all a shuffle frame position to create the list. And I'm as everyone, I have a small sheet of paper with numbers, and I fold it, and then I create my sequence. And after, you have an app action. And what I use is trim unit space around pages. So it will create my 8-page or 16-page. And after that, I will create a step and repeat to put as much as possible on the sheet that I have at my disposition. So let's try it. Okay, just close this one. Let's back to switch. Okay. Okay, so this one, I will choose a book. I will just show the book just before files book. Okay, so it's a 60 page. Okay, and I will put it in the flow. Okay, I just want to have first a perfect bond. I will say I have 4, 8, 16 page per group available. I'll choose a paper, so 135, and the thickness. Just need to create a small hole here to grab the file after the signature splitter. So once again, the setup bug just to put the number. It will help us to analyze the imposition. So right, I will have my 5 signatures. So 16, 16, 16, 8, 4. Because the setup here was the position of small signature at the last one. You could also say before last signature, after first signature, whatever you are used to. Then it will put the file on the correct one. Release. Okay. So let's take a look at our first signature. It will be there. Okay. So 116, 8, 9, 4, 13. So it's okay. Everything is okay. And it has been trimmed to the use of the page. Because right after, I will put it in my final sheet with the step and repeats. Done. It's really, really quick. So let's take a look at my 16. It won't change much because I can only put one on the sheet. But if I take a look on my 8-page signature, I will have a 2-page. And if I look at my last signatures, it will be up a 4 step and repeats. And you can still create some with few shenanigans, create some gonging between the 8 and the 4, for example, if you need to, but it's more complicated in this. You'll have to merge everything, create an app, but it works if you want to. But with this, it's not finally for offset printing because I do not have some bar controller. And within Quite Helper here, I have no option to create, to add a bar controller. But you have a custom, let's look at custom here. You can have a custom action. With a custom action, you can export an XML, just copy paste a part of this XML. Everything is explained on the documentation, and put it here. When it's done, it will add the bar controller. So I will just relaunch one, this time in saddle stitch, just because why not? Okay, saddle stitch, okay, done. And I will have my saddle stitch in a few seconds. Okay, so it's done, it's here. And I have my mark here. So if something is not present within Quiet Helper, you still have the possibility to use custom one. If you use a custom one and you think it could be useful in a command, don't hesitate to ask us, because we regularly make some updates. For example, for this one, for bar control and text, and adding text on the side, we had a question from Graphister, which is also an app developer. And in Prime, you have the new one. So there was only one command because it's under construction. And we added the stick on PDF page and the stick on text and number. So it's on 2 action once again, because it's a test one. I don't want to duplicate every action right now, since I need to finish it. But up, I'll just click it. Up. And remove the custom one. None. It will work again. Add the control bar and the text one, and everything will be here. And just remove this one since it already have it. It's open. Okay. So thanks to Graphister to test things and to give us some feedback. Do not hesitate to give feedbacks, because it helps us to make some enhancements on our apps. Okay, it's here. Let's them go up to the end. Okay. And now I'll have my control bar, and on the right, I've put some marks with some text. So the name of the file, the number of signatures, and the sheets numbers. And I think that's all I have for you today. If you have some question, I do not have time to look at both question.
Of course. A couple of them are already answered, but just for the audience, could there be
Yeah.
different sheet margins for the horizontal and the vertical?
Sheet margin for the horizontal. So it's Magnus, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the left side, top side, left side, right side. That's it.
I think
If
so.
so,
Vigo
yeah,
already responded, yes, you can set margin mode to
yeah,
unlinked, but you
that's
have
it.
to choose a page orientation.
Yeah, it's linked, and you can create unlinked one and just put variables in here.
Yeah, perfect. Natasha from Distributor X also asked, does it support the manual action from QH? Maybe you know what QH means, but no idea.
Quite hot imposing, maybe.
Quite hot, maybe, yeah. All with those abbreviations. Quite hot.
Um,
Vigo already responded. Sebastien
Okay.
responded on this one, that the current list of actions that are available, but of course you also can check the app itself. It's available for a 30-day trial as well. Is it possible to set in position type, step and repeat, and up, etc., with a switch variable, Thomas?
Yep. And you asked me the same question just before the meeting. And the answer is no. Why? Because as soon as we create a variables here, we could have put it. But as soon as you create a variables, every option below these variables will show, because switch have no way of knowing what you will use after. So you will have a lot of options prompted, and you'll need to fill all them. You need to fill them all in order to work. So to avoid some problem, we decided to not create variables for the command one. So if you need to create, as you see here, saddle stitch perfect bone is two completely different way of working with your file. I create two lanes within switch, one for perfect bone and one for saddle stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And since the step and repeat part is common at the end, if you work in saddle stitch or perfect bone, I've put it at the end. So it won't hurt you to create some separate step. You won't have to create everything in one big action list when you work with quite hot imposing. With quite helper or quite hot imposing, it's the same way. If you want to create some step and regroup command thing in the next step, it will be better to do it. With this, you'll have less maintenance if you need to change only one thing in the end. If I need to, let's say I forgot a script page for binding here, and I have for different multiple scripts, just add it before. It will be okay and better in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I have another question here, but I think this is something for Andy, because it's not really to do with the app, more with Quite itself. Andy, is there a PDF dimension size limit in Quite imposing?
Yes, the current limit is 200 inches, which is 5.04 meters. That's really a limit that is hard coded into Acrobat, but Acrobat has for some years also supported page scaling, which is an extra scale factor. And this is something we are looking at supporting very soon in the future. So that would
Nice.
enable larger page sizes than 200 by 200 inches or 5.04 meters.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. Another question from Magnus: is there a roll media option where you can choose the roll width and maximum length? Vigo already responded no, but you can use trim unused space around pages and then define final size with fixed width and variable height.
Yeah, that's the way. I think if you use you could create it in a two-step. Just use the option trim, the trim option, and then create a step and repeat one by one. But when you need to create a sheet size, just grab the size you want to be fixed, and let the second one be the same as the first. So, sorry, I think it will be better if I make a quick explanation. So let's say create an imposition in position 8 of blah blah blah. Lot. I will. It's 5 meters, so let's say 4 meters. Okay. I will create. It will be in step and repeat. I will say just 5 row, just to limit it. Okay. So then I'll need to use the trim option. Trim, yes. Example. So and just put thing here. I'll separate the action, but it could be in the same. No, you'll need to separate the action for this one. Okay, just hold up. I will put my visit card. Okay. Step and repeat is not the right option. I think it will be more end up if you have a limited number of objects. Oh, sorry. I need to put it again. I could have made an end up. I will. I will make an end up just after. So here I have a sheet size. Since I've limited it to my usage, then here I will put again width 1000, and here I could use stats MediaBox 8, and since I work in switch calculation, multiply the dot with 3. Oh, sorry, that's it. I think it's this. And let's
hard apparently.
Yeah, let's just add few millimeters just to be sure to have some white space at the top, and then it will be okay. So we trick the software, but it worked.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll share the questions also with you guys after the webinar. Then you always can get in touch with the person that asked the question directly as well. Another question from Tony, and I think also Sebastian answered this question already as well. Can you add custom barcodes on each signature? I think it's better to use pit stop to add these barcodes. Huh?
With Quite, you could use the new action that it's not live yet, but it will be next week, to add some text, since you could choose your fonts. If it's a font that work with barcode, or barcode that work with fonts, same way, you could use this, but it will be pretty limited if you need to add some QR code or data matrix. If you need to put some QR code or data matrix, you'll need to create them before, put it somewhere, and use it as a PDF attachment. But that's not really great. It will be better to use SpeedStop for this.
Exactly. Another question from Jeff: are cut and stack impositions possible? I think so.
Yeah. If you want a cut and stack, you'll need to create a shuffle first. So it will be the action shuffle. You'll need to create, say, if you are double-sided print or not. You could use a manual one. Manual one, you'll need to create everything yourself, but it's assisted. Tell him how many column, how many row you'll need. Let's say 3 and 7 for 21 card, and double-sided prints. And yes, after all, you could create your NAP and it will work.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Another question from Brian. For a cut and stack option, can you supply a folder full of PDFs, or must you combine all individual PDFs into one single PDF before presenting it to the app? I think you need to combine it. Huh?
Yeah, you need to combine it before.
Okay.
So the problem is the thing you need to be aware of is that if you use, let's say, double-sided page for this, and you'll have 8 style, you need to have multiple number of page of 16 in order to work. So you need to add some blank page before and calculate how many blank pages you need to use.
Okay. Another question from Vincent. Can you handle thread zoom binding?
thread soon binding. Sorry about this because it's maybe a translation problem.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
exactly
actually
what's.
sew binding, I think, but there where you actually sew. That's all. I think somebody native English here. Andy, can you help me with the
Yeah,
sewing?
soon. Yes, I know what's
Yeah,
soon, but it's a thread.
I think it's
If it's
just
just
sew
two
binding.
binding, yeah. It's in booklets. In booklets, you'll have some. Just I won't screw my demo. I will create this on this one. Command booklet, and in booklet, booklet type, continuous saddle stitch, perfect bond, cut and stack, and I think it will be yeah.
Normally that's perfect.
I'll need maybe to have a small diagram of what you want exactly, because
But I
it's
think
maybe.
it's perfect bounds normally.
I think it will be perfect bond, and then a specific imposition within it.
Yeah. Another question from Barna. Regarding marks, is there any way to define custom marks? Example, to put barcodes on the sheet for the binder, or to define the automatic position of a collating mark?
Yeah, it will be this one, stick PDF on pages.
Okay.
So if you have multiple things to put, you'll need to use multiple action, multiple command.
Mm-hmm. Questions pouring in. Sorry, Thomas, because the questions keep pouring.
Yeah,
Continue.
that's great.
Uh-huh. Is there a way to automate the distribution of pages position-wise?
Distribution. What's it's behind the distribution? If you could add some comments.
Yeah, maybe I will rephrasing this. Sorry, I just saw that he rephrased his question. Is it possible to define a template in which the exact size of the pages are not defined, but the template can adjust according to the trim box size in the PDF?
Yeah, Quite will work with the box of the PDF. At any point, I have never put the size of my PDF, original PDF. So it will just put your file as many times as possible regarding the guideline and the V space and horizontal space. So vertical and horizontal space, so the gutters. So if you change, let's say you work with classic visit cards and for whatever reason you have one slightly bigger, you won't have to change your template.
Okay.
If you want to work with fixed templates, let's say because you have some foil, or some, I don't know, let's say some cutting form, really specific one with really specific placements, you need to specify exactly the margin to put it. But it's not really the use case for a quoted folder.
Okay. Bum. Another
And
question.
for Magnus, there is a question for Magnus for the cut and stack. Yes, you need to have you need to know in advance the number of rows and columns. But it's a really simple calculation since you have the width and height of your product, the width and height of your gutters. You need to have to calculate it before. Yes.
This is an interesting question. Of course, the App Store is open and we do connect to a lot of third-party application. And this is also a question that I sometimes have. For which jobs do you think it is better to use Quite? And for which jobs is better to use, for example, Phoenix?
As soon as you'll need to gang file together, different file, different quantities, Phoenix or Griffin will be better. If you could still create some imposition and gang file together, but it's not the best use case. For example, the big customer in photobook printing that with Quite we make some ganging. Send every file. If you have, let's say, 3 examples of your products, we'll have 3 files. So as many files as needed. And if not, we duplicate them before sending it to Quite, merge them in a single PDF, and then make the distribution within Quite with a shuffle for an NUP, for example. But if you work with a large amount of PDF or number of copy, let's say more than 20, Quite, let's say 120, 150, it will be difficult. With some specific imposition, let's say for visit cards, with the sheet I had here, for example, on 3 lane, for a Duplo, for example, we can duplicate the file if it's multiple of 50. And if 100, create 2 lines for it. It's 50, create 1 lane. But still, it's some niche use case.
Well, every application has its functionality set, and you really need to actually examine for yourself, is this the application I need in my production environment, or am I expecting more of an application? And then we need to investigate other solutions also, like Phoenix, for example, depending on the expectation that you want from a solution, of course. And Herman already put in a feature request, and his feature request was, it is possible to know where the signature is placed after imposition. I'd like to place text next to a signature, for example, 4 millimeter under the signature, not based on the sheet or the page. That is currently not possible, but it already has been noted by Andy as a feature request.
It's totally possible. You'll have to use a trim option. And when it's trim, extend your file a bit, put your mark, and then redo the step and repeat one by one. It's a trick, but you can.
Last question from Magnus, that I see for now. Does Quite support variable trim boxes for different pages in the same PDF?
If you have, I've made a test before, but if you have multiple value, I think it will be, all the page will be centered, but Andy could confirm this, I think.
Yeah, Andy already confirmed, yes, the trim and bleed boxes for each page is handled separately, and the trim boxes are used for the layout. Bleed is automatically cut off, so it does not overlap another page. And Magnus also, in the case of the NUP imposition, the pages will be placed on the print sheet for left and right and top to bottom. The result will likely be as expected, but I think that's something that needs to be tested in the end.
The shuffle action needs some tests, and it's always better to test it like pit stop and pit stop server. Test it manually with an Acrobat. Do your thing, and once you're sure how to do this, put it. For example, for the 16 page, as everyone, I create a small sheet, put my number, unfold it, and then say, oh, this one is reverse, 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 and put 1, 16, 13, 4, and so on.
Okay, perfect. That is it for the questions. Again, if you have questions, you can contact Bluewest directly as well. Their contact email address is on the app page itself. This recording will be distributed to everybody who attended and everybody who was unfortunately not able to attend the meeting. This webinar, it will be sent out around 4 p.m. Central European Time tomorrow. Also keep an eye on your mailbox, because Bluewest also has a small present for you as well, and it will be in that mail as well. So look out for that mail coming to you around 4 o'clock p.m. Central European Time. I thank you, everybody, for joining this webinar. Thank you, Bluewest, for the clear examples on this beautiful new app. and we'll hope to see you next time. Thank you also. Sorry, forgot one person. Thank you, Andy, also for supporting this webinar and taking the questions about quiet imposing. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank
and
you
see you
too.
next time.
Thank you. See you.
Bye bye.